It took 100 years of service, problems to create this Chicago institution. Society changed. There were brutal economics, threats of destruction, and thousands of performers, over 1 million papers, brought life to this building. And it, in turn, fostered their spiritual and intellectual growth. Careers started and ended here. Dreams came true, and they were destroyed. Happy birthday, old girl. Oh, if these old walls could talk. Your steel, your mortar, your bricks, and your concrete are just lifeless works of art. Until that magic time when performers, actors meet the audience. I'm Bradley Nystall. I've spent over half a century here on this stage as director, actor, manager, floor sweeper. You might ask me, how did this landmark become such a legend? I'll tell you.
After the Chicago fire, they had tightened up the building code, and so people moved out here to the suburbs where they could build houses that were not as expensive. And after a while, St. Michael's got tired of sending people, or people here got tired of walking down to St. Mike's, and so they set this up as basically a satellite parish of St. Mike's, serving German-speaking immigrants.
The school and parish grew, and by 1910 they felt they needed a social center. The pastor wanted a special building to develop healthy souls and healthy bodies. It should be the largest facility of its type in the United States, with a gym, sodality rooms, music room, library, 4-lane bowling alley, lodge halls, kitchen, billiard rooms, and at the back half of the building would be a first-class professional theater with one of the largest stages in the city. The Athenaeum would replace the original church on the southeast corner of St. Alphonsus Square. Critics called Father Thomas's plans ambitious. It seemed he was following the new Burnham plan for Chicago, make no small plans. The building was designed by noted architect Herman Gall. The stage and 10 dressing rooms were developed by the manager of the Colonial Theater on Clark Street. And on November 26, 1911, the parish presented their first show.
Prosser. He used to work for Leroy Electric. And he told me that he used to run movies here.
In 1912, Saturday afternoons were reserved for showing free children's movies. The Mothers Club continued the tradition for over half a century. Designed for parishioners, over time the theater also served other churches and schools. Years passed and the neighborhood prospered.
It was the biggest shopping center next to downtown. That's a fact. It was that great.
School attendance grew, so the second floor was remodeled into classrooms.
In 1937 and 8, there was a commercial course in this building, and that covered typing, shorthand, bookkeeping, letter writing. The classes were taught by the good sisters, school sisters of Notre Dame.
Then, disaster.
The whole top caved in on all the typewriters and everything, and it was a real disaster. And thanks to the 36-inch wall, it didn't get into the theater. Thank God for that.
It took 2 years to rebuild. Hermann Gall, the original architect, redesigned the entire front to reflect modern tastes and save money. The neighborhood continued to grow during the Depression. Another war. The Athenaeum was getting old and beginning to show its 35 years of use. Maintenance was expensive and a growing concern.
The last big wave of German-speaking immigrants came in after World War II. They weren't immigrants so much from Germany. They were ethnic Germans who had been persecuted because they were ethnic Germans, but they were living in places like Yugoslavia and Romania. And they were actually put into concentration camp type situations there because there was prejudice against ethnic Germans in the wake of World War II.
Despite the new immigrants, St. Alphonsus was starting to experience problems. And a second disaster. During the 2 years of reconstruction, Mass was celebrated on the Athenaeum stage. To save money, the pipe organ was moved to the church. By 1958, the Athenaeum was facing new challenges.